Ibañez Tortilleria, serving up freshly made in-house corn and flour tortillas since 1994. Try our delicious menudo, tasty barbacoa, fresh tamales, tacos, pareadas with juicy grilled chicken, and tender fajitas. On Mondays, buy one barbacoa taco and get one free if you mention that you're a Bloodhound fan. Located at 4726 Paredes Line Road, Brownsville, Texas. Open every day at 6:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. To order, contact 956-541-9594.
We're La Vida and the girl watching Real Sports Live. Go Cardinals!
We live here. We work here. We love it here. Look for your motors in Brownsville, Texas. We're here for you.
We are West East and we're watching Real Sports Live. East side, strong side.
When you study local at Texas Southmost College, you can choose from over 50 associate degree programs, certificates, and workforce training programs. Register now for summer and fall classes and study local at Texas Southmost College.
We're La Vida and the girl watching Real Sports Live. Go Cardinals!
Hi, I'm Rebecca Castillo. I invite you to visit San Benito and see for yourself the many things this community has to offer. Our offices of economic development offer a variety of business resources to developers, investors, and business owners from small to large scale. Contact us and let us work together on your next business opportunity.
Hello from Los Fresnos CISD, an A-rated Texas Education Agency district. A stands for Academic Excellence at Los Fresnos CISD, where pathways to secondary success are being built for students at the brand new Resaca Middle School campus. A stands for Academic Advancement at Los Fresnos High School, where the College Center provides a jump start on college and career readiness that includes advanced placement classes, dual enrollment options, CTE opportunities, and scholarship money. Los Fresnos CISD, an A-rated and 7-time post-secondary readiness distinction district.
At Harlingen CISD, college, career, community ready is more than just a saying. We've created 12 academies to provide students with access to fields of study that best fit their interests and passions. Within the 12 academies, there are 42 certifications that will aid students in getting a head start on a career upon graduation. Become HCISD proud and enroll today.
Graduation time, time to make some decisions. What's next? Can I afford to continue my education? What are my options? At Brownsville ISD Career and Technical Education, you can graduate from high school with a certificate and or license ready to go to work, debt-free. We have a wide range of programs for every student ranging from audiovisual, law enforcement, STEM robotics, electrical, welding, pharmacy, patient care tech, and many more to choose from. That's why Brownsville ISD is the best choice.
We are McAllen Memorial, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
For quality care, contact Mesquite Home Health and Attendant Services today. In Brownsville at 594 Jose Marti Boulevard, call today, 956-361-5558.
We here at Mesquite want to wish all local athletes good luck in today's game.
We're live from Bulldogs, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
Music lovers, you have to stop and see the assortment of records, tapes, and records memorabilia at Forever Memories today. Located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, Texas, there's over 10,000 records on display and more coming every day. Looking for your favorite album from the past, first pressings, collectibles? How about a 45 with a single you just have to have? Freddie Fender, Johnny Cash, Hank Williams, Elvis, Beatles, blues, rock, classics, Tejano, it's all here. Organized and priced for you. Forever Memories, 237 North Sam Houston, San Benito.
See art or create it. On South Padre Island, that's as hard as it gets. Visit sopadre.com.
My son Leo just graduated from high school, but also with his associate degree from Texas Southmost College at no cost at all. Not having that financial burden was so helpful to our family. That's 2 years we did not have to pay for.
All of my TSC credits transferred to UTRGV, and I am so grateful to go into my major debt-free.
Hija, tomorrow's your quinceañera. I need you to call your padrinos and tell them thank you for the salon, the tamales, the dress, el DJ.
Ay, Ama, you called them. I didn't even want a quinceañera in the first place. I would have preferred to have gone to Paris instead.
I will, fine. I'm gonna give you your surprise gift early.
Huh?
Guess what? You're going to Paris.
How?
Well, I've been saving mucho dinero all year in insurance thanks to Pronto Insurance.
Let's just skip the quinceañera and go straight to Paris.
Call your padrinos right now.
Okay.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
Been feeling a little stressed lately? Luckily, South Padre Island has plenty of or maybe you'd rather have some aww. Now that you think about it, it's been a long time since you've had a good How will you ever decide? Choosing what to do on South Padre Island? That's as hard as it gets. Visit sopadre.com.
We live here. We work here. We love it here. Look for your motors in Brownsville, Texas. We're here for you.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. We're here at Luke Fruia Motors in Brownsville, Texas, for our weekly show, and we are now in the month of June. Can you believe it? The school year is already come and gone, and graduations have already happened. I think there's a couple of schools out there that are still needing to get their graduations taken care of. But hey, it's summertime. And that means we're going to get a whole lot of 7-on-7. We're going to get some summer volleyball that's already started down in McAllen. And then we're also going to get the state 7-on-7 tournament at the end of June. And then when we roll into the month of July, we'll have the Venom League, more volleyball down in Edinburgh. And then, of course, as always, the Highway 83. And then sandwiched in between all that later at the end of the month, June 23rd through the 25th, we're going to have our softball showcase. So we're really excited for that. Just last night and early today, well, really on Monday, we finalized the rosters. We divided up the teams. So everyone has a team. Just this morning, as of an hour ago, I reached out to all of our coaches who are all currently college players or played college ball. They just received their rosters. So for the parents out there, I know it's been some time. We started this process in early May, and you're probably wondering, well, it's been a month now. We haven't heard from anybody. Well, we were just getting all of the players signed up. Obviously, San Benito was our last team standing. They, too, were on the back end of signing up for our showcase. So we're just getting that rolling there. But, again, the rosters have been set. And I think it's okay. We're going to unveil them here in just a little bit later in this show. But along with that, we're going to go over our showcase, and then we're going to go over what Tex Preps has for us. We have that combine in 2 weeks. We have the Primera Pro Football Camp that's also coming up in a couple of weeks. So Mark Lopez is our special guest. Joe Bowling here just walked into the door. So we're going to talk showcase. We're going to talk Texas Preps, and we're going to talk softball and everything that I was able to see and witness last week in Austin at the state tournament, and also being a part of the Cal Allen celebration last night down in Cal Allen. So a full show. We're getting ready to get things going. So when we come back, we'll talk more when we come back from Luke Fruia Motors in Brownsville.
Sherryland ISD, a nationally recognized district focusing on quality and rigorous instruction where every child is immersed in a culture of academic success. A district dedicated to preparing our youth for the future. Our mission is to inspire, educate, and empower all students to reach their full potential and become leaders of the highest moral character. Sherryland ISD, excellence is our tradition.
Baby, just listen to me.
Escucha.
Do everything with speed.
Prontísimo.
Auto, home, business, or
Flexible.
insurance for all your
Barato.
needs. You say you just got a new boat. Come on by and we'll give you a free quote.
Prontísimo.
Okay, who's singing near you? Hello?
Accesible.
Pregúntale a tu agente cómo ahorrar con Pronto, porque más barato, nadie.
When you study local.
Welcome back to Luke Fruia Motors. Kevin Aro alongside Mark Lopez from Tex Prep. So you guys have been some regulars on this show really the last couple of weeks, right?
Yes, sir. We want to appreciate and thank you guys for having us here about 3 weeks ago, and we've been on steadily ever since on Wednesdays, and so glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, Mark Lozano. This is Mark Lopez. Mark Lozano and I, we talked for maybe about an hour of just football, Edinburgh, people we knew,
right, yeah.
and just stories about Nate Newton. Just a bunch of whole random stuff with football.
He's been around. He's been everywhere. Yeah, he's very well versed in the Valley and Texas and the nation.
Yes, so. when I was setting up, when he and I both realized we were both from Edinburgh, we're like, what?
Oh, wow.
Edinburgh? Hey, so do you know this guy? Do you know that guy? So then that sparked the conversation in itself there. And then I said, well, let's save that conversation for the show later.
Right.
So, but thank you guys for joining us again. So Tex Preps, the U.S. Army Combine is still on about 2 weeks from now, June 19th and the 20th, down in Donna, Texas, at Benny LaPrade Stadium.
Yes, sir.
So what's an update? What can you tell us?
That's correct. Yes, sir. We're excited about this U.S. Army Combine coming down here for the first time ever. Closest it's ever been here is in San Antonio, and now it's up in Frisco and in other parts of the nation. But yes, sir, we're getting ready to go 19th and 20th. The official main date is the 20th for all positions, but we're doing a little special showcase and camp for quarterbacks and receivers on the 19th, which is the night before, from about 6 to 9 p.m. We're going to be working with quarterbacks, receivers, and hopefully maybe we can grab in a couple extra positions. But then the main camp and combine metrics will be on the 20th, beginning early in the morning around 8 a.m. And we'll run most of the day till about 3 or 4 p.m.
What can parents expect for their boys, nephews, sons when they head out there? A lot of intense competition. What can they look forward to?
Well, these type of combines and camps that are nationally based, they attract athletes from different areas. So we expect to see guys from all, not just South Texas, but East Texas, Central, and possibly North Texas. And it kind of brings out the best in you because you're now standing next to a guy that's your same height, speed, and possibly even better. And so it elevates your performance, and it actually becomes a mental preparation for you as well to get ready for these types of camps and competitions. And so they can expect a high intensity and high level of competition in this camp. And what we want to bring out of it is for each athlete to be well noted on how they do that day, and through their metrics, and hopefully they can expect this information on how they do to get out to every Division 1, 2, 3, NAIA, and junior college in the nation.
And when you guys say drills, maybe walk us through and the fans out there on what can we expect as far as the drills. Are there going to be? I mean, I don't know too many. I've seen the drills, but I couldn't name them.
Right.
So what are maybe some drills that they can expect?
Well, these camps and combines, typically the metrics that are used are very well compared to the NFL combine, which is your 40-yard dash, your shuttle drill, your 3-cone drill, your L drill, your broad jump, your vertical jump. They'll measure your wingspan.
Okay.
Your hand size, all the metrics that colleges look for in an athlete that can help them better understand you, and what your core is, and then you can expect individual position drill work with the U.S. Army Combine coaches and staff. Quarterbacks will work on quarterback position drills, running backs, linebackers, offensive line, D-line. They'll all run their own specific drills as well. And then we'll come together and actually let them compete against each other a little bit one-on-one.
Okay, cool. That's so DB receiver type drills.
Yes,
those
sir.
are always fun. I know those get competitive.
Oh, O-line, D-line, yes.
Yeah.
Shirts start flying off. It's great. It's fun to watch.
That's good stuff. So where are you guys at as far as the registration process? Is it full? Is it not full? What's the scope?
Oh no, it's still open. We're opening it up to anybody, not just the Rio Grande Valley, the Coastal Bend, Laredo, San Antonio, East Texas, North Texas.
Okay.
We've got schools already with athletes representing, pretty much all over the state already. So, we want to continue to leave it open until up to the walk-up day, of the camp. You can still come in.
Cool.
We've got plenty of space there. We've been working graciously with Donna ISD. They've opened up their doors at Benny LaPrade Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So we can fit a lot of kids in there, and so we're still taking registrations. We'll release the actual registration site here in a bit, but you can still register for it. It's still open.
How many spots? Is it a specific number, or you guys are just open to as many?
Typically, the U.S. Army Combine, can get up to 250 kids.
Okay.
And so, we're not shying away from that number if we can accommodate that many. So, we'd like to try to reach as many as we can.
And how do they register?
Right now, it is being handled by the U.S. Army and Signing Day Sports. So they can go to www.sdscombines.com, or they can go to our personal website at www.texpreps.net.com, and we've been releasing that on our social media platforms as well.
What are your social media platforms for anyone that wants to know?
Facebook, just Instagram, Twitter, just search Tex Preps.
Tex Preps.
You'll find us at Tex Preps.
There you have it. And then now the Primera
Yes,
pro football camp, I hear, was a hot topic in
Oh.
Cameron County. You guys
Yes, sir.
filled it up quite nicely, 250 kids. What was the age range on
The
that?
age range on that is 8 to about 18, which is about second graders up to 12th graders.
Yep.
So we are splitting it into two groups, one morning session, one afternoon session. The morning session, this will be happening on June the 24th. The morning session beginning at 8 a.m. registration for those that are registered. We will have some walk-up registrations hopefully available. But this will have the younger group in the morning, usually the 8-year-olds to about 12. And then in the afternoon, about 1 o'clock, we'll come back with the 13-year-olds up to 18-year-olds. So what we did is we created an online registration about 3 weeks ago on a Monday, and because of the city of Primera graciously sponsoring, the EDC graciously sponsoring, along with a few local entities that have sponsored as well, we were able to make this free. So
Great.
When free for all boys and girls. So when we opened up registration the first day, we were hoping to get 100, for the camp. Well, I think we hit 100 the first day.
Awesome.
And then by Friday that same week, we had 250 register. So our system kind of shut down at 2:50.
Right.
And so, but we're still taking some inquiries, those that want to maybe walk up that day, and we're hoping to accommodate those. You know, we might have some that registered and can't show for whatever reason,
Right.
so we'll fill them in with some walk-ups. But yeah, it went viral and it filled up very fast.
Like the U.S. Like the U.S. Army Combine, what can folks expect down in Primera?
Well, we're going to be using, of course, 2 ex-NFL players as well. Michael Lewis, formerly of the New Orleans Saints, and Mike Scooter Magruder, formerly of the New England Patriots. So, you know, they're very well versed in their abilities and in coaching and in camp. So they're gonna run a lot of the basic drills that the basic fundamentals of, you know, how to you know, hand a ball off, receive a handoff, you know, running for a route, quarterbacks passing, you know, fundamental throws. It's going to be more of a fundamentally sound camp, you know, based for the kids, boys and girls, to kind of learn the game at a level that is understandable, but yet being taught by ex-NFL stars.
Awesome. So is there anything else that you want to plug, whether that's social media or push anything else out there that for the fans can hear?
Oh, definitely. You know, the city of Primera has been, you know, wonderful with helping us put this together. And so, you know, we really want to thank them. We want to thank the, you know, other surrounding sponsors as well that have come across and helped out. You know, we want to reach out to, you know, just reach out to our social media sites for further information, for other upcoming events coming up this summer. We've got several other camps and combines and entities coming down here. So, you know, we really just want to, you know, expose the valley to what's coming down. But yeah, you can find us through the city of Primera. You can find us through our Tex Preps website and our social media sites, and you know, just keep in touch with what we're doing.
So the 19th and 20th is the U.S. Army Combine down at Benny LaPrade Stadium.
Right.
Spots are still available
to
sign up if you guys want to go down there and check that out. And then the what's the date on the Primera?
The Primera camp will be June the 24th. It will be a Saturday.
June the 24th, a Saturday. That's towards the end of the month. 250 kids. They've reached their cap, but again, you guys are open to potential walk-ups if the kids show up.
We'll try to accommodate the walk-ups, and we'll keep in touch as that week comes. If we have follow-ups that, you know, well, maybe 30 will not attend anymore, then we'll know that we have 30 walk-ups, and we'll try to keep the public informed.
That's Mark Lopez of Tex Preps. Him and Mark Lozano, Gus Cavazos have all come on this show really this last couple of weeks and have kept us informed and kept you informed, more importantly, on what's going on with the Combine, both in Primera and down in Donna. So, Mark, thanks for taking the time to join us. Special guest appearance, surprise special guest appearance, right?
Impromptu.
Hey,
appreciate you
it's all good.
Us.
It's all good. I'm all in.
Thank you.
We're glad that you guys came by. Anything else?
Thank you, Randall. You and Joe are doing a marvelous. You know, you guys are all doing a marvelous job down here, and we're just glad to be a part of it and you know, be here and you know, collaborate with you guys.
That's Mark Lopez. Kevin R. We'll be back. We'll talk more when we come back here at Luke Fruia Motors in Brownsville.
All right.
College, you can choose from over 50 associate degree programs, certificates, and workforce training programs. Register now for summer and fall classes and study local at Texas Southmost College.
Today's gonna be a big day on South Padre Island, but what should you do first? A big breakfast with friends sounds pretty good, but you really wanted to paddle out and see the sunrise from the water. Breakfast or boarding, boarding or breakfast? How about boarding, then breakfast? That was easy. Choosing what to do on South Padre Island. That's as hard as it gets. Visit sopadre.com.
De ropa, lo que se me antoja, dinero en el banco. Muchas me andan criticando, pues traigo carrazos que como le hago. Tengo tengo seguro del bueno, pronto y flexible y sale barato. Es mi corrido humilde, que no se te olvide que me ando ahorrando.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles, located at 237 North Sam Houston in San Benito, is filled with vintage items, collectibles, and a selection of vinyl records that's as good as it gets. Every shelf, every aisle, and table is filled daily by a number of vendors that ensures that something here just might be the item you have to have. The vinyl record area helps bring an added atmosphere that makes for the fun trip when stepping back in time with the memories. Forever Memories, Antiques and Collectibles in San Benito.
We're San Benito Greyhounds, and you're watching Real Sports Live.
We live here. We work here. We love it here. Look for your motors in Brownsville, Texas. We're here for you.
Hi, I'm Rodo Rodriguez, and I'm a partner with New York Life Insurance Company. For 170 years, New York Life has built a reputation for building some of the finest agents in the industry. I help to manage that process from day one. If you're looking to challenge yourself and build an insurance and financial service business, then I would like to show you how I can help.
Date night on South Padre Island? No problem. You could hit the town and dance the night away. Or maybe you'd prefer some fun and games, like being a kid again. Party like a grown-up? Or a throwback to the good old days? Tough call. Luckily, either decision will be the right one. Choosing what to do on South Padre Island? That's as hard as it gets. Visit SoPadre.com.
Baby, just listen to me.
Escucha.
Do everything with
Prontísimo.
Out of home business or
Flexible.
Insurance for all your
Barato.
needs. You say you just got a new boat. Come on by and we'll give you a free quote.
Prontísimo.
Okay, who's singing? Me or you? Hello?
Accesible.
I'm out.
Ask your agent how you can start saving with Pronto. Best price in town.
Come visit our new store in downtown Harlingen. We have furniture, appliances, clothes, collectibles, and more. All funds collected support the Sunny Glen Children's Home. Come see us at Vintage on Jackson at First and Jackson in Harlingen.
My son Leo just graduated from high school, but also with his associate degree from Texas Southmost College at no cost at all. Not having that financial burden was so helpful to our family. That's 2 years we did not have to pay for.
All of my TSC credits transferred to UTRGV, and I am so grateful to go into my major debt-free.
We live here. We work here. We love it here. Look for your motors in Brownsville, Texas. We're here for you.
Sail the seas? Or see the sails? On South Padre Island, that's as hard as it gets. Visit SoPadre.com.
Ibanez Tortilleria, serving up freshly made in-house corn and flour tortillas since 1994. Try delicious menudo, tasty barbacoa, fresh tamales, tacos, variadas with juicy grilled chicken, and tender fajitas. On Mondays, buy one barbacoa taco and get one free if you mention that you're a Bloodhound fan. Located at 4726 Paredes Line Road, Brownsville, Texas. Open every day at 6:30 a.m. till 9 p.m. To order, contact 956-541-9594.
We're La Vida, and you're watching Real Sports Live. Go Cardinals!
We live here. We work here. We love it here. Look for your motors in Brownsville, Texas. We're here for you.
We are West East, and we're watching Real Sports Live. East side, strong side.
When you study local at Texas Southmost College, you can choose from over 50 associate degree programs, certificates, and workforce training programs. Register now for summer and fall classes and study local at Texas Southmost College.
We're La Vida, and you're watching Real Sports Live. Go Cardinals!
Hi, I'm Rebecca Castillo. I invite you to visit San Benito and see for yourself the many things this community has to offer. Our offices of economic development offer a variety of business resources to developers, investors, and business owners from small to large scale. Contact us and let us work together on your next business opportunity.
Hello from Los Fresnos CISD, an A-rated Texas Education Agency district. A stands for Academic Excellence at Los Fresnos CISD, where pathways to secondary success are being built for students at the brand new Resaca Middle School campus. A stands for Academic Advancement at Los Fresnos High School, where the College Center provides a jump start on college and career readiness that includes advanced placement classes, dual enrollment options, CTE opportunities, and scholarship money. Los Fresnos CISD, an A-rated and 7-time post-secondary readiness distinction district.
Welcome back, Luke Fruia Motors in Brownsville, Texas. Kevin, that's Joe. First time I break this out.
I was impressed.
Yeah, heck yeah. Well, I was like, next time I go to the show, I'm gonna wear it because last Wednesday I was in Austin, and then the week before I was blind. So
I was gonna wear mine. I was like, nobody will wear it, so I'll just hold off.
And you know what? I just realized too that this brings back some White Wing vibes.
There you go. That's kind of why I like the pinstripe look. And
yeah, the pinstripe is clean. I mean, baseball and pinstripes outside of the Yankees, it just goes right. Yep. But the font, and then even got the patch right there, and then my beautiful last name on the back with my number 1, the number I wore in baseball. I know you wore 23.
Yep.
Rudy said he picked 35.
I didn't understand that, but maybe it was his basketball number. I don't remember.
He says it's Dontrell Willis.
Okay. All right. Well, hey.
Okay. That's impressive because he knows who Dontrell Willis is. I was like, okay, that he was good for a time. But, yeah, these are really cool, and I'm pretty sure once we start wearing them out and, at games and stuff, people will want one.
Yeah, they're going to be available to the public. We've got a few select of us that right now that are wearing them, and they're embroidered.
Yeah.
Nice material, cool. It's not a hot fit. It's not cotton, and it's breathable material. And Real Sports Live, the uniforms, if nothing else. Sitting here looking at the. I know what this is.
Yes.
I know this home radio. I know what this signs mean.
Yeah.
That means it's just the exclamation point on what a week that you had last week and getting to go to Austin.
And, last week was so much fun. I drove up there Tuesday evening. I got to catch up with one of my good friends from high school. That's where I stayed at there in Austin. And then, I woke up a week ago today, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. Santa Gertrudis kicked things off. They played against Grandview. And then, of course, you had San Benito and Cal Allen. So we had 3 teams in our coverage area make it to the state tournament. It was really neat just driving up there early Wednesday morning, picking up the credential. Parking was so much easier this year. I know in the past you and I have we've had trouble. I've had trouble in the past, but
parked up on those higher tiers and walked and tried to get around.
Yeah, well, not anymore. They've made it convenient for the media and game day staff to park in right field, and they give you the pass, your parking pass, along with your credential, and you just put your parking pass on the dash. You give it a little wave to the guy managing the lot, and you are in. So it was a very short walk for me to get from my car to the press box. But yeah, just getting there and realizing that, hey, like it's been 2 years since we had last covered a state tournament, not only for myself but for the teams. That was something that these players looked back and realized, like, wow, we made it here. Very, very handful of teams do. It's very, very hard to get there. And, especially a lot of these seniors, they, like for San Benito, Emily Delgados of the world, Bethany Aguilares, Julia Guerrero from SGA, Trinity Salguero, only 2 seniors on that SGA team, 3 on Cal Allen. Those seniors, because they're seniors, they truly took it all in. And obviously Cal Allen winning it all. We'll talk about that later. But excellent week of softball. Starting with Santa Gertrudis, they played Grandview. And They won that game pretty convincingly, and I have the box scores here. It was 6-3, and I circled the 5-run second. Maddie Dottie was a freshman who was pumping 65-66, which is equivalent in baseball to your low 90s, 93, 94. And Coach De Los Santos had mentioned to me pregame that he's like, we've already seen a lot of velo throughout the playoffs. And so he goes, so that's not really going to affect us much. He goes, but if we get to tomorrow, we're going to have to play Hannah Wells and Kahoma. And he goes, she's touching 71. And I was like, okay, well, that's an issue. But let's see how you guys can navigate through today. But, in that second inning for Santa Gertrudis, it all started with an illegal pitch. That was called on Dottie, and instead of it being a ground ball, a pop-up to the shortstop, wound up being a 2-2 count. That led to a walk. That led to a sacrifice bunt. That led to a base hit, and so on, and they wound up getting 5 runs in that second inning, and I really felt in that game that it was only in the second inning, but Dottie was rattled by that illegal pitch.
No, the momentum of the sports on the diamond.
Right.
It can happen with as little as one pitch. I've seen it many times.
Right. Yeah, no, and Santa Gertrudis, I mean, they took full advantage of it. And they were able to get one more run in the 5th, and that was a Taylor Reyes, a solo shot to left center. She played her tail off. She had a bases clearing triple in that game that really helped solidify that 5-run inning. But Deandra Fernandez is a name that she's a freshman pitcher, and that was really the theme of the tournament and the teams that we covered. Dottie was a sophomore, Hannah Wells a freshman, Deandra Fernandez a freshman, Amira Rodriguez sophomore, Jordan Thibodeau freshman. So I mean, just all elite pitchers, freshmen, sophomores. They're young. They're very, very young. But Fernandez for me was, she's a what we call a junk pitcher. She's going to get you with the drop curve, the screw, the changeup. She's 55, 58. She's not going to blow anything by you. And I think for Grandview, they hadn't seen all that much.
Yeah.
It's like equal to a knuckleballer in baseball, where you don't see that too often, and it takes the hitters some time to get used to it, and I think that really had an effect. But for a freshman pitcher in Deandra to just go in there and cool, calm, and collected and pitch on the biggest stage and pick up a win. I mean, she went 7 innings and only allowed 3 runs.
Yeah, and that was that set the tone that hey, anybody up here, Cal Allen's certainly watching that game.
Yes,
it kind of set the tone that you know what, these games are winnable. With the right circumstances, taking advantage of opportunities, and just sheer talent alone that is on these teams. Kevin, we talked about it all year that there are teams that we saw that was like early season. It was like, hey, the right things happen. This team is going to get to the promised land, and once you get there, you have an opportunity to win. And so winning that first game, I think, set the tone.
Right.
It's like anybody and everybody watching that game suddenly believed that, you know what, we can do that too.
Right, and that's what I was That's what I talked to Coach Lentz about, was like it's one thing to get there.
Mhm.
It's another to win a semi game, and then it's another thing to win the whole darn thing.
Yep.
So it's a lot of work. I know it's just 2 games, but it's a lot of work, and it's really, really hard. You need a lot of things to go your way. And
because it's a one and done. It's not
Yeah.
a series. It's not 2 out of 3. A lot of people were chiming in on, is this a best of 3? No, this is one time. That
Right.
first inning is the only first inning that you're going to play in the state semifinal. Second inning, that's your only shot around, and it
Yeah.
just and as the game gets closer to that 7th inning, then it's like the narrow portion of someone's season is down to 3 outs, 6 outs, at best, and
Right.
it's like. And that's it.
Yeah.
Shine or don't.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I understand we're not coaches, but one thing I mentioned to a couple of my coaching buddies was that if you're in the region final, if you're in the Sweet 16, if you're not doing a one-gamer, certainly in the region final, if you're not going for a one-gamer in the region final, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
In my opinion. Because when you get to state, it's one game. It's one game in the semis and one game in the state final. So I've had some agree, some not agree, but I mean that's just my opinion, and
I think most of your coaches will agree. I mean, you talk about the sample of the teams that I've covered in the state of Texas, and it begins and ends with Elias Martinez and the teams in San Benito, and Elias was the first to start doing that, and you would look at that, and he was willing to play those series and didn't really care too much in the first couple of rounds of playoffs. It's like, okay, we'll play a series. We'll play a series. We'll play the 2 out of 3s. And I know he had some epic battles with Edinburgh North a couple of years in a row, and those were always 3-game series that came down to 1 year. Edinburgh North beat him. The other years he won. But after that, you would always see Elias Martinez like flip a coin, we're playing 1 game. And it's like that was the early stages of prepping his players to say, this is what it's about when you go out there and it's 1 game. And it means it all. So.
Yeah, and then in the championship game for Santa Gertrudis, I mean, they played. I know it sounds cheesy, it sounds cliche, but man, they played to the last out. They played to the last out. They went toe to toe. Just Kahoma was a little bit better. And Hannah Wells was eventually she was the difference maker. And the crazy thing was that they got a run in the 4th inning on a ground ball to the right side of the infield, and Shay Lang, who went from second to home because on a ground ball to Taylor at second, and there was a diving snag. She gets up deep in the 4-hole. Even if she gets up and makes the play at first, she can't get it anyway. But the base running from Lang, where she was on her horse from second around third home on a ball in the infield, that was just sharp base running, and the coaching already knew, like, we're going to be aggressive on the bases.
I remember some of the most aggressive coaches I ever had took the approach, if you're on base, then every base you approach is a green light until you're stopped.
Yes.
And that was, you could tell the difference.
Yeah.
She had green light, and she didn't hear the word stop, so she continued to push it, and that's a different strategy.
Yes.
A lot of coaches will be like, pick me up, I'll give you the sign.
Right.
Nope. But in some cases, it's like, that's a green light.
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah. She
and
was,
if you don't,
yeah.
if you hesitate, she
would have been out.
Play. Yeah.
She would have been out, but you can tell it was by design that she was flying around. Taylor Reyes, she had herself a tournament series. She tied the game on a gutsy 2-strike, 2-out pitch. Just, I mean, beautiful piece of hitting, just right in on the hands, got just enough into center, and that thing was tied in the 5th inning. 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Yep.
A base hit. And you know how they say, you can make the perfect pitch, anything that's going to be back up the middle, that's just good hitting from the hitter. But SGA got 1 run back in the 7th inning, but it was the 2-run home run from Wells that was kind of the nail in the coffin that made it 4-1 midway through the 7th. And the interesting thing was that her first at bat, she belts a double off the wall, 220 dead center. It's like, whew. You can kind of take a deep breath if you're SGA. Intentional walk.
Yeah.
Now her battery mate Mia Claimer, the catcher, she went 0 for 4. And I really felt that when they intentionally walked Wells in the 3rd and in the 5th, that got to Claimer just a little bit.
Yep.
It messes with your psyche just a little bit. Ironically enough, Claimer had more home runs than Wells,
Yeah.
Clamer was the leader in batting average on the team over Wells, and I was like, man, like they're gonna walk her to get to that.
Yep.
But you know what? It paid off. But I mean, De Los Santos and his staff, they did their homework and they knew exactly how to pitch to her. So I thought, going into the 7th, the big thing was the lead run gets on in Everett, and they elected to pitch to Hannah. So it's, you elect to pitch to her instead of putting 2 on.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to hit a 2-run home run.
Yeah.
I
listened, and you think about it, it's like if you put her on, you still got to force first, second, third.
Yeah.
You got force plays all over the place. You got a hitter that you've handled, albeit fly balls. And so you're automatically thinking, well, if she gets a fly ball, you're going to have a runner in scoring position, and now 2 in scoring position off of 1 hit, and 2 hitters remaining. So a lot of strategy right there, but it was all ended by 1 swing.
Oh, yeah, it was ended by 1 swing. Hannah wound up being the tournament MVP, our player of the game.
Yep.
She plays for the Oklahoma Athletics, a travel team out of Oklahoma. The cool story with Wells and Clamer was that the battery there, Wells was a sophomore, excuse me. Last year, they lost in the state championship by 1 run to Hallettsville. And Clamer was an 8th grader in the stands watching it. And the cool thing is that Wells and Clamer have been playing together since they were 8 years old.
Wow.
So Clamer was like, now I'm a freshman. Now I have an opportunity to play for a state championship with my longtime battery mate, kind of like a Yachty and Wayno type of camaraderie there. So that meant a lot for those two to win it all. And, just to do the grapevine, OU has already got Hannah Wells on their radar.
OU winners of 51, 52 in a row.
Hey, they're going to lose tonight.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Watch.
Okay.
Florida State's going to win tonight, and OU's going to win the next 2.
Okay.
Lightning in a bottle, baby. Just watch. But Patty Gasso, they're going to figure it out. I'm calling it right now.
That's a big prediction,
Florida
folks.
State's going to win tonight.
That's a 3-time national champion on a 51-game winning streak, and he's predicting they lose.
Florida
we'll visit this next Wednesday.
Florida State's going to win tonight. OU's going to win the next 2.
Okay.
There's just no way.
The 51-game win streak comes to an end tonight.
Because it's softball, right?
Man, heavy betting going on there, folks.
Yep. But, SGA had a great run before I get on to San Benito. They're only losing 2 girls.
Yeah.
Everyone else is coming back in a winnable district. Santa Gertruda's been there, done that. Coahoma, they were just loaded, and they were just a better team that day, and a team that I really enjoyed covering. And Hannah Wells, sometime down the line, we may see her somewhere at a big Division I.
Well, if they make it there next year, you're probably going to see her again.
Most likely, like I said,
Santa Gertrudis makes another run.
Yeah,
there she'll be waiting.
most likely. I'm going to save the champs for last.
Yeah, let's do it.
But for San Benito, 1,407. That was the total attendance in their semifinal against Pearland. And as a guy who's from the Rio Grande Valley, who loves where he's from, that spoke volumes for the Valley. We had, for the folks that don't know, up in the press box, we have media from Dallas, we have media from West Texas, we had media from Houston, and they see the Denton Geyers, they see the Pearlands, they see the Austin Westlakes in football, and the South Lake Carrolls and all these different sports. But I tell you what, guys, when the San Benito fans showed up, it was from where I was sitting behind home plate in the press box, from between third and home, between there all the way back down to the right field line was purple and gold. The bleachers out in right center, one complete bleachers was full of purple and gold. And every writer, every media person was like, dang, San Benito, man, they can pack the crowd. And I said, yeah. I was like, they love their football, they love their softball. I was like, but the Valley, the 956, they love to support each other when we get to that point. And I just thought that was really, really, really cool. That was easily, Joe, the biggest crowd, and it wasn't even a state championship game.
Yeah, I remember, the first year I got to go up there and cover them, and I'm certain it was the same here. They're wearing purple and gold shirts, but you'll still see hats of Westaco, hats of Mercedes, hats of some other schools around. Just the sheer hunger of the RGV on the softball side of things,
right?
To get that final 2 wins, that semifinal championship. We've had teams that get up there. We talked about the hard road it is to get that win.
Mm-hmm.
But I assure you, those fans want to be a part of that final team that gets to celebrate in that big way. And so, yeah, they were wearing purple and gold. Many from San Benito. I think they could have closed the streets down in San Benito. But certainly surrounding San Benito was the Harlingen South, the Mercedes, the Westicos, the Edinburghs. They were coming from all across the Rio Grande Valley to see if they could witness the history of the first team to win it all.
Even Cal Allen was supporting them because the Almaraz girls played with Amira when they were younger in travel ball, but also because, the cool fun fact at the Cal Allen Invitational this year, Cal Allen, Santa Gertrudis, San Benito were all a part of that tournament.
Yeah.
And the common factor was what? They were all in Austin.
Yes.
That was pretty darn cool. But Coach Lentz met Coach Martinez earlier this year, and so she was excited to see them there and vice versa. But
had someone tell me last week on the phone, we were talking about your coverage, and we're going back and forth, and threw a compliment out there that it really didn't hit home at the time, but the more I think about it, the more it really is a testament. He said, Joe, he goes, if nothing else, Rio Sports Live brought the Coastal Bend and the RGV closer.
Wow.
Because they're used to watching each other now. They were waiting to see each other in playoffs, but now they're getting to see each other during the regular season. They're getting to see each other in other sports. And so, again, kudos to you guys who took the torch of what I started in Rio Sports Live. But, I think it hits home. It really is. Perhaps the Coastal Bend and the RGV now have that ability to say, hey, you're there, we're supporting you.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And like I said, on the softball side, Coach Lentz invites, the Brownsville Lopez, the La Joyas of the world, and Cal Allen even went to La Jolla this year for softball. So there's certainly a good camaraderie there. And then, of course, Cal Allen supporting San Benito supporting Cal Allen because of that camaraderie that they had. But
let's talk about the game.
Yeah, dadgummit, man. I've never, ever seen, and here's the funny thing was, I'm sitting there calling the game, and there's riders to my left, and there was no radio guy for Pearland, so it was just riders from 3, 4, 5. Edward Servin from the monitor was next to me, and then the rest of the riders there, and they broke the golden rule. Was like, oh, there's a no hitter going on, and I'm like, I didn't say a word. I didn't say a word, but the crazy thing was that the no hitter went 5 1/3, and San Benito was still losing 3-2. So I was like, I can kind of say that there's a no-hitter going on because of what's going on, but I'm like, I'm just going to wait and hold on to that nugget and be like, oh, well, there goes the first hit, and they're still losing the game. Like, boom.
Yep.
What in the world? San Benito was able to load the bases in that first inning, and they only mustered up 1 run. And I really think if they got 2, 3, 2 at best, it would have been a different game. It really would have been a different game. And, when we play teams outside of the Valley in the third round of football, you and I know as darn well that you got to play perfect with a capital P. And San Benito, they didn't have their best game. I thought Amira, she didn't have her best stuff. She had been lights out through the postseason. Nemo as well, both of those girls in the circle. But it was that 3-run third inning that Pearland had. And, Amira walked 3 straight girls, loaded the bases. And you can't do that at that level. You had a wild pitch, scored a run, a sac fly, which I can live with, scores a run. And then just the frustrating part for me was it with 2 strikes, 2 outs, throw down to third. Third baseman wasn't ready for it. Ball gets into left, shallow left, and that third run comes in. That's how Pearland scored their runs. And I'm like, that's like,
There wasn't that one big swing. There wasn't that one big hitter that stepped up and delivered.
They had 1 hit. Pearland had 1 hit. 1 hit. And that was in the 6th inning when the no-hitter got broken up. And I'm like, this is the weirdest game I've ever seen on the grandest of stages. Like, what on earth? But, San Benito, too, what worried me a little bit, they finished with 4 hits, but what worried me in the Harlan series a couple of weeks ago was they had a lot of runners on. They just couldn't cash in on that big hit. And I said, well, Aubrey Flotis is a pretty good pitcher, but they'll figure it out. New Braunfels, their bats woke up, and then against East Central, they had that big game where it was 11-1 in Game 1, and then they won 2-0 in Game 2. But there were spurts where I saw the San Benito offense, the bats would go a little quiet.
Yeah.
And that worried me a little bit. And unfortunately, that's what happened in that game. Bethany at the top, she went 1 for 4. Emily went 0 for 2. Amira, that was the big one. She went 0 for. A lot of their big bats that they really relied on throughout the year, just didn't come through when they needed it. But, to lose 3-2 to Pearland, who wound up winning it all. They wound up beating
That's what hurts worst.
Oh, gosh, I know.
It's
yeah.
like we could have beat that team, and we just watched they won it all.
And what surprised me was when I looked at it, I saw Denton Geyer. I had followed them all year, and I'm like, that's a pretty darn good team. And I'm like, they're my pick to win it all, going into the tournament. So I said, I think San Benito, if they play right, if they do what they can do, they can certainly beat Pearland, and I really believe that they were the better team that day.
Yep.
They truly were. But then when I saw Pearland going, I'm like, they ain't going to beat Denton Geyer. And they wound up beating them. I was like, dadgummit. But you know what? People are going to say what they're going to say. But, Elias Martinez 3 times to the state tournament. And I really, really want to look this up. I know Johnny Cipriano obviously has gone 3 different times.
Mm-hmm.
I want to look into Progreso and Hidalgo soccer boys, because we're probably looking at less than a handful of head coaches that have taken 3 different teams to a state tournament.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's
it's rarefied air.
Rare.
And
Rare.
it may be the only. Yeah.
Those 2 might be the only, because I know Progreso has gone to the state tournament a couple of times in this last decade. Now, whether it was by the same coach or not, I really want to look into that. This is where I miss Roy Hess.
Yeah.
Because Roy Hess would know, or Ronnie Zamora, bless their souls. But, dadgum, man. Whatever. Elias Martinez, he's there to win, and it's in a position to where, I'm not here to be your friend, you're not here to be my friend, and that's okay. But we have a common goal, and that's win.
Yep.
And let's go out and win. And fine, people want to, not support them or not, they can, it's because of this. Well, it's because of that. I'm like, that's fine. You're right. Yeah, okay, maybe the team is stacked, but how many times have we seen teams be stacked and not succeed?
Yep, plenty.
Okay, so the pieces don't move themselves. And you know who told me that? Johnny Cipriano.
Yep.
And I'm like, that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. And, for them to get back and for him to make it back a 3rd time. Coach Lentz has been there 3 times, and now she's won 1.
Mm-hmm.
She's been there 3 times. So there's a very, very rare air. Mario Rodriguez has been there once. Rio Hondo went to the region final. Westlaco's been to the region final twice. So it's very, very rare air. So I have, a lot of respect for Coach Martinez and his coaching staff and what they've been able to do. And, it's tough. It's really, really tough to get there, especially in 6A.
Yep.
Especially in 6A. And, I was happy for San Benito. We said it all year that they were the best team all year, and Mercedes was right behind them. They went to the Sweet 16. Lyford went to the Sweet 16. San Benito, obviously, in the Sweet 16. So, all in all, I thought we had a pretty solid year in softball when it comes to the Valley.
Yeah, and when we talk about our showcase in a bit, then we're going to talk about just how loaded that thing's going to be with these players represented. All right, again, you went from San Benito. You had the next day.
Yeah.
Front and center, here comes Cal Allen.
Yeah, Cal Allen, which, by the way, Coach Lentz and the team have a surprise for you.
All right.
So you can open that. Yesterday was a lot of fun. There's a team picture.
All right, cool.
And then an autograph ball by the team. So,
my thanks to Cal Allen.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a team ball. There's a couple D1s on.
Yeah. This is a beauty.
A couple D1s on that ball right there.
I'll keep that right there. But
yeah.
I'm going back to the sign that this was in front of Kevin in the booth. I know that. I've been there, done that. The home radio. People ask. When we started Real Sports Live, including Elias Martinez, why are you doing this? What are you doing? And I'm like, because there's a niche of being able to cover sports live that is missing in the RGV and ultimately in the Coastal Bend and ultimately on the radio. There was a niche of the coverage of live sports. And
you can keep that, by the way.
Being a radio guy, I'll attach it to some other notes with some of my other stuff. But going back, my beginnings in radio were where my sports coverage began. Later came newspaper, and then later came television. But when I called you the week before, and I said, "Hey, get the credentials. I know we're being handcuffed by this rights situation and the video rights and things like that, but there are people that will tune in because of the fact that we're going to deliver a good product of a radio broadcast. And, years ago when you first began, you cultivated your White Wing stuff, and getting your true feet wet, if you will, in broadcasting radio sports. And so, when I answered Elias Martinez in the early days of, why are you covering us? It's like, well, because the good teams around here need some kind of coverage beyond what I can insert in a 40-second clip within a 2.5-minute span of a sportscast on television.
Right.
Elias, there's bigger things that we can do that can showcase these kids. And so when I was listening to during a game, I was close to an old radio friend of mine who I had talked to, and I was like, hey, remember the first time when we were up there, and this was in 96, and when I say up there, it was in Columbia, Missouri, and we were covering North County Raiders and the baseball team, and it was my first chance to be in a booth announcing a state semifinal game and eventually a state championship game. Mm-hmm. And man, it just all flooded back, and that's why, the day that, the Santa Gertrudis lost, I remember sending the message saying, hey, you're never going to forget when you finally call that final out of that final game and you win a state championship. And just a flood of memories came back on me. And again, to the fans out there that tuned in, and I know there were a bunch that tuned in to our audio broadcast, we thank you. And to those who dare question, and they did, and continue to question, Real Sports doesn't care because they don't want to do video. That is not the case. We want to do video in every single thing we do in every single game. However, we play within the rules. And, could Kevin have thrown a phone up and done a live video alongside of his radio? Sure, if we wanted to break the rules. We didn't. We know others did, which was kind of cool because I heard stories of people that watched some of those, field videos going on a live Facebook and listened to you at the same time. Mm-hmm. But again, setting up the coverage of being in that booth, I remember it, and now you'll remember it for the rest of your life because of what happened at Cal Allen. So let's walk through the Cal Allen road. But again, thanks, Coach Lentz, for the ball and the photo.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was, this was a team that, they went in 19. They went in 21, who we were able to cover closely. It's like, man, what is this the year they get it done? And,
did you say that at the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they were all healthy.
Well, when they were healthy, I'm like, this team has a real good shot.
Yep.
When they started getting plagued by the injury bug, they lose to Alice, and see, Coach Lentz is awesome because she's going to answer these tough change-ups. Mm-hmm. And last night, when we were talking on the at the celebration, was like there was uncertainty.
Yep.
There was so much uncertainty when they lost Brooklyn behind the plate, who was the anchor in that lineup, who was going to then step in to fill her shoes not only behind the plate but in the lineup as well. So then you get Adrina Almaraz, you pull her from first, you put her behind the plate, and then you get Braylon Bailey, who was an unknown, and then you plug her in at first, and then you have freshman at first, freshman in the circle, freshman behind the plate, and a freshman in left. And that freshman in left was Caden Trevino, who was playing lights out at second base before Mackenzie Mounts came back from basketball. So there were some good problems to have, but there was a lot of a backwards puzzle.
Yeah, you were saying to yourself, solid but young.
Solid but young, and the unknown
at that point in
mark.
the season.
Because Jordan Thibodeau, she's 14, and it's okay to say that because everyone knows her age. We've said it publicly. Coaches have said it, but she's 14, had never played higher than 14U until this year, until she was playing at the varsity level. Mm-hmm. And in spurts, you saw that where a young pitcher, where she may have gotten away with that pitch over the middle in 14U ball, but not against Alice. Right. Not against the Toloso Midways and at the varsity level. So, we really saw Jordan Thibodeau just emerge as this superstar freshman who's only, again, 14 years old. So she had to step up in the circle. Thankfully for her, Audrina and her have been playing since they were little. So there was already that chemistry there that she had to work with for Jordan. Cal Allen didn't even win their district, mind you.
Right.
They got swept to Alice, who was a heck of a team this year. My goodness, Alice was a great team this year. They didn't even win their district, like I said. So there was certainly a lot of question marks, and I was like, man, like that's going to be tough when they get to the postseason. But you saw the Braylon Baileys step up at first base. Caden Trevino got moved to left. Mounts was at second. But you knew what you were going to get with Megan Geyer at shortstop. You knew what you were going to get with Mia Flores in center. You knew what you were going to get with Alana Almaraz at third base, who also, she had a wrist injury, so she got hurt for a little while too. Mia missed, I think, a game in the postseason, so there was a lot of uncertainty. And I told Coach Lentz, I said, in 19, we collectively knew what you guys had. You knew what you had, and it's state or bust. In 21, same thing. This year, we really were unsure. And I told her, I said this last night. I told her, I said, this is your best coaching work, like as of today. This is your best coaching work because of all the uncertainty. And she's, I'll share with you a cool story. Was pregame against Bernie was that that was one of her better pregame speeches. Some of it can't share because it's in house. but the point of that pregame speech was that no one works harder than you, and you, as in she was telling her girls. She's like, no one works harder than you. And I was like, man, that's true. And it showed. It showed on the field against Bernie. And then, heck, man, they won against Aubrey in the state semis Thursday night. Joe, less than 24 hours, they were having a 2-hour practice in Georgetown.
Yep.
And it was hot.
Yeah, you sent me the message. I'm leaving the field, but I'm going to go over to practice. 2-hour practice.
A 2-hour. I was there for an hour. I caught the second half of practice. But they were out there for 2 hours, and this is a team that had just won. Less than 24 hours before in a state semi game. So and I told Lopi last night, and I told Lentz that I was like that didn't resonate with me until I've heard you guys say it. I've seen it, but I'm like, man, that's true. No one really does work as hard as you guys, but. Going against Aubrey in that state semi game, the 4-run third, the bases clearing double by Adrina Almaraz, a freshman who she played tremendous this year for Cal Allen. I mean, at the plate, she's one of the few players where when she comes to the plate, you do this. You're like, let's see what she's gonna do. She's got a violent swing. She's got a good swing. And she stepped up tremendously for Cal Allen in the middle of that order, both her and her sister Alana. But she had the big hit. It was bases loaded, cleared the bases, a double, and that's all they needed. Jordan went 6 hits, 1 run the rest of the way. The 1 run that came in the 7th was a sac fly. But that was the Cal Allen offense through the playoffs. I thought they started clicking at the right time, and when they scored in bunches. But in the lineup here that Caden Trevino's batting 9th. She can bat in the middle, maybe in the 2 spot somewhere else. Mounts was in the 2 spot. She got moved down to the 8 spot. She was a tournament MVP. Jordan Thibodeau, Braylon Bailey are they're 6-7 in the order. Those girls can be batting 3, 4, 5 anywhere else. So that's just speaks to the depth of this Cal Allen order. And I wasn't shy about this. I was like, man, they did all of this without their best player.
Yep.
Brooklyn Metter. She unfortunately had a knee injury at the beginning of the year, and I'm like, man, when you get Brooklyn back, I'm like, my goodness, that lineup is just going to get even deeper. And then Coach Lentz, that's why she gets paid the big bucks to figure out where she's going to put these girls. But against Aubrey, I truly felt they were just overmatched by Cal Allen. And I also felt Decatur was overmatched against Liberty. It was 9-1 in that game. And I, of course, I stuck around after the San Benito game to watch the Decatur Cal Allen game. And I'm like, that team is good. Liberty. I was like, they are good. They were relentless at the plate, on the bases. They were so aggressive at the top of the order with their speed. So the cool backstory was couple of days before the tournament, before the semis game. Let's see, they played Thursday. So Wednesday night, Cal Allen goes out to dinner, and they pull up at the restaurant, and they go inside the restaurant, and guess who's there sitting at the table?
Liberty.
So it was kind of like a stare down, like, what's up? And then Liberty just kind of.
We'll see you in a few days.
Yes. They both in their heads, without saying it, was like, see you Saturday. That's really what that was.
Yep.
A total like stare down kind of deal. But Liberty, they were in the middle of this dynastic run where they won state in 18. They beat Cal Allen in 21, and they won last year in 22.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a dynasty right there.
Yes.
And I was talking to Quentin Martinez from the Caller, and I said, "What is this? Is this a David and Goliath? Is this a battle of the heavyweights?" I go, "What can we call it? Because Cal Allen's not a David.
Nope.
Liberty's certainly a Goliath." So midway through the broadcast, I'm like, I figured it out. It's Rocky IV. Liberty is Ivan Drago, and Cal Allen's Rocky Balboa. I was like, that's the analogy we'll go with. But Liberty, they were a good, solid ball club, and Coach Lentz knew that, and she wasn't shy about the fact that it was going to be a fight. She said that publicly, and she's like, on air, she's like, this is going to be a fight, and it's going to be tough, but my girls are ready, and Liberty jumped out to a 3-0 lead. And I was like, oof, like that.
Which generally ends it.
For most.
When the returning state champion gets something like that going, it generally says that's it.
Yeah, for most, that's like, it's like, good night, Irene. Thanks for coming out. We're about to win this again for a third straight time. So, but Cal Allen was able to battle back. They got one in the a sack fly in the first, and then again, when the runs came, they came in bunches, a 4-run fourth and a 4-run fifth. And Mackenzie Mounts, I mean, she stepped up in a big way. Bats 8th in that Cal Allen order. Base hit, right center, 2-run double that gave Cal Allen the lead. But Alana Almaraz's leadoff home run in the 4th.
Yeah.
That helped set the tone for Cal Allen. Then followed by Mackenzie's base hit into right center. But the play that gets lost in the shuffle was Mia Flores, because the game was at a crossroads where it was 5-3. Liberty had the bases loaded, and they hit a sharp liner to center, and Mia Flores slides in and robs her of a hit. If she doesn't make that catch, 2-run score. If that ball gets past her,
they're trailing.
They're probably they're losing that game at that point, and everyone scores. I mean, huge play, and fittingly, it was a Flores, her niece, that made the catch. And then, ironically enough, she gets up, springs up, and kind of does a little dance there. And the day before, I said, "What's a fun thing that people don't know about you?" She's like, "Well, I did gymnastics." It's like the gymnastics helped out with her sliding and making that catch. But that was a turning point. Coach Lentz, in our post game, she said that was the nail in the coffin that they needed, and that's when they felt like, hey, like we can go out and we can win this thing. But Liberty, because they're the champs, they got 2 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and it was kind of a little uneasy. It was a 2-run game in the 9th, but that fly ball to Geyer to make that catch for out number 3. Every person on that team said, "Oh my gosh, Coach has us practice pop-ups all the time. We do 21 outs. We have to catch so many in a row. If we don't, we have to start all over again." So she goes, "We knew she was going to catch that ball. We practiced that play religiously." And Megan jokingly, she said, "That ball came up to me," and I said, "I celebrated a little too early," but I'm like snapped out of it. I'm like, "I need to catch this ball first." but they make the catch, they win, and I told Coach Razzo, I said, I really feel that we may have witnessed the birth of a dynasty, because I don't see Region 4 keeping up with the level that Cal Allen is at right now. Bernie had Ava Rodriguez. She's graduating. She was an ace in the hole for them. You're always going to have your Sweeneys of the world that are always going to be in the mix. Toloso Midways, they played them in the 3rd round. Alice is always going to be tough, but I just don't see anyone in that region. Bernie, that's going to give them any kind of competition.
Because you're talking about now state champions and so many returning next year.
Everybody, Rihanna Rodella was the only starter that was the DP, and they had 3 seniors, but 1 senior in the starting lineup. So defensively, everyone is back. Everyone is back defensively. Maybe the only question, and we'll get to it next year, is that the pitching depth. Because this year they had Rihanna Rodella as their 2 and Thibodeau as their 1. So that's probably the only thing that I'd be interested to look into, maybe see what's the pitching depth going to be like. But I'm pretty positive they have someone waiting in the wings at the JV level. So, it was a great run. Coach Lentz said it best that she wanted to bring a championship back to Cal Allen, but most importantly, South Texas, because she knows that South Texas, Region 4 in particular, doesn't get a whole lot of respect from up north, and I take that personal. She takes it personal. We all should, that we can play ball, not only in softball but in baseball and in basketball. We should all take that personally and show that South Texas can keep up with the best of them. I know football it's a different breed, it's a different brand, but in these sports, certainly in softball, me being a big advocate for it, that I know these players can do it, and for them to go out there and do it. And yeah, that last call, it's kind of funny. You can help me out on this. I was like, the night before, I was like, okay, so how do I do this? Is this going to come natural? Am I going to script it? It'll just come natural.
Yep.
Right?
Don't dare script it. Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because that's what I figured. That's what I'm like, because it's got to sound great. I was like, but I'm just going to let it come natural.
Yep.
To let it come natural.
Yeah,
So.
I lived that through you. Again, I can go back and almost recite every inning of that North County State Championship, which was the first baseball state championship I got to call, and I can remember that was '96, and that's 96. That's a long time ago to be calling a state championship game. But I remember it like it was nothing. The big part of that, just interject a quick story, but. The first baseman for North County was being recruited by the University of Missouri football team. And he had went to visit the coach, and the coach basically told him, you might go a couple of years and come back after a JUCO run, but you're not quite ready. Dan Smith was his name, the first baseman. And the way the field was designed in Columbia, the baseball field, is the outfield, beyond the outfield wall, down a little hillside, was the practice field for University of Missouri football. And sixth inning of that game, we look out and we see, hey, look, University of Missouri spring ball out there practicing. That's kind of cool. I wonder if coach is looking over and wonder if Dan Smith's ever. And the next inning, Dan Smith steps up and hits a towering home run over left center field through the uprights onto that practice field. And I was like, he just got coach's attention with that ball. And, it's little things.
Yeah.
And you're going to remember stuff like that the rest of your life. I know you will. And I wanted to be there. I was out of town. But, again, I was glad we were able to do it. And it just emphasized even more that, Real Sports Live is video. Obviously, we have a ton of video stuff going on with the channels and this and that, but we have the capability of flipping that switch. You want us to go audio? You want us to give you a radio play-by-play? Here it is, and we delivered. So,
And even last night, as I wrap this up and so we can get to our rosters,
yes,
last night was awesome too. The celebration, I don't know if you got to see a little bit of it. It was really cool. What makes me happy is that all the youngsters going out there and getting that ball signed, and they look up to these girls, and that was probably one of the highlights of the night. And then just talking with former players, current players, talk to the coaching staff, and it was a really cool event last night. And everyone there thanks us. For going the extra mile for them, and nothing but great things. The superintendent was like, we were listening, and she's like, my husband's like, he thought she did a great job. She's like, that's because my husband's not a very nice guy, but he really enjoyed it. So many people just came up and said, hey, like we were listening, and they just really enjoyed the coverage. Really not just from state, but from these past couple of years that the stuff we've been able to provide for them. So they were very grateful. It was a lot of fun. We presented the checks to them as well. Coach Lentz introduced me, and I went up, and in front of everybody, we presented the 3 checks to the seniors. They were very appreciative of that.
Yes, our thanks to Pronto Insurance for providing us those. I kind of mentioned it in a post not so long ago that we went over $10,000 in scholarships that we gave out this year. In conjunction with the sponsorship coming in with Pronto Insurance. We're sitting here at Luke Fruia Motors. Pronto, Luke Fruia, South Padre Island. Those 3 are the anchor points of Real Sports Live, and I can't say thank you enough to those. But, again, it was an easy decision to say, they got 3 seniors, let's spread the wealth, especially after attending the graduations I have in the last couple of weeks and in hearing and seeing on the programs like, $125, $150. I was with the senior mom, and she's like, hey, $150 goes a long way when you're talking about buying this or needing this needing this, and every $150 makes a difference. So it was like, we were happy to do that. Perhaps we can get, more sponsors and deliver bigger and better, but certainly proud to be able to give those 3 scholarships last night.
Certainly. They were very appreciative of those scholarships. So let's take a quick break.
Yeah, we went overtime already, but we'll take a break and we'll come back. We got to release these rosters because our softball showcase is coming up, and it's a testament to many things. It's a testament to the coaches who understood last year when we first put our softball showcase together that this year was going to be something special if it was put together right. It's a testament to Kevin's hard work in getting all of the teams and the rosters and players signed up and getting it ready. Mark the date, June 23rd, 24th, 25th. Our softball showcase is going to be something to behold. And again, if we can just get the same momentum behind every other sport, we are certainly capable of providing the same thing. Our basketball showcase was lights out this year. Softball, going to be something else. We'll get to those rosters. You want to know who's playing? Well, we've already kind of announced that, but now let's find out who's playing who. We'll get to the rosters after this.
At Harlingen CISD, college, career, community ready is more than just a saying. We've created 12 academies to provide students with access to fields of study that best fit their interests and passions. Within the 12 academies, there are 42 certifications that will aid students in getting a head start on a career upon graduation. Become HCISD proud and enroll today.
Graduation time. Time to make some decisions. What's next? Can I afford to continue my education? What are my options? At Brownsville ISD Career and Technical Education, you can graduate from high school with a certificate and or license ready to go to work, debt-free. We have a wide range of programs for every student ranging from audiovisual, law enforcement, STEM robotics, electrical, welding, pharmacy, patient care tech, and many more to choose from. That's why Brownsville ISD is the best choice.
All right, welcome back. That's Kevin. That's Joe. If I wouldn't have said stop, I'd still be going.
We went overtime.
Yeah.
Welcome to overtime in the Luke Fruia show. The beauty of being able to run our own show and to control the airwaves, if you will. Luke Fruia Motors, again, home of Buick GMC Cadillac here in Brownsville, Texas. If you haven't stopped by and told them thank you for being one of the sponsors at Rio Sports Live, I encourage you to do so because, again, without their assistance, without the sponsorship that's coming in from them, from the Pronto Insurance, from the South Padre Islands, from the the colleges and all of the sponsors that you see on our broadcast, without those, remember, we're a free service.
Mm-hmm.
So, how do you pay for us to get around? How do you pay to get to cover state championship games? How do you cover these showcases? Sponsors. So again, from the Luke Fruia show, welcome to overtime. Let's talk about our rosters and our showcase.
So the 23rd, 24th, and 25th is our softball showcase down in Raymondville. So this took a while, but it's all said and done. So starting, we're gonna go Rebels, Racers, Lightning, and then we'll go Coastal Bend, Storm, Breeze, Barracudas.
6 teams in all.
Six teams in all. So with the Rebels, Emily Delgado, Arlette Hernandez, Lexi Sandoval, I should say Emily Delgado from San Benito, Arlette Hernandez from La Jolla, Lexi Sandoval from Harlingen South, Joe Montes from San Benito, Piper Cáceres from Westlaco East, Lily Rocha from Harlingen, Dakota Martinez from Los Fresnos, Alexa and Haley Garza, they're the Cuates from PSJ North, Lexi Escamilla from Westlaco, Andrea Chapa from Brownsville Veterans, Mia Rodriguez from Westlaco, and Christy Loera from PSJ North. That is the Rebels, and they're coached by Erica Cortez, the great Erica Cortez, as we call her, Brady, for obvious reasons. She will be representing Texas A&M Laredo, the Dust Devils. Her and Jenna Fabella will also be on that staff. She is representing Vernon College. And then Kristen Loera is also up in Laredo too. So Jenna and Kristen Loera, they were a part of they played on our showcase last year. They were Rebels last year. Now they're going to play in it, or they're going to coach in it for the Rebels. And of course, Erica Cortez helped us coach last year as well. So that's a great plus in itself on having some college players coach the Rebels. On to the Racers. So again, Racers. Starting from the pitchers on the top, Mickey Castillo from Mission Veterans, Alexis Dames from Bronzeville Veterans, Clarissa Rizzo from Mercedes, Alyssa Guzman from Mission Veterans, Phoenix Bocanegra from La Feria, Desiree Cavazos from Raymondville, Ariana and Alma Lezama, the Cuates from Bronzeville Lopez, Bella Ramirez from Rio Grande City, Alexis Solis from Westlaco, Adamari Perales from Mercedes, Emmy Ruiz from Harlingen South, and Shelby Saldaron from Edinburgh High. That's the Racers, and they're coached by AJ Hassel from San Benito. She's, of course, the younger sister to Amber. Speaking of the state run, so AJ spent some time at the Islanders this year. She's going to be helped coached by Alexa Salcedo, who's playing up at Trinity. She was from Harlingen South, along with Jules Garcia, who's also from Westlaco. She's also up at the Islanders. And Monet Montilla from Edinburgh Vela. She's also up at the Islanders. So we got a little bit of blend of the Coastal Bend there that's going to be helping coach the Racers. The Lightning, which was a very popular uniform last year with that pinstripe. So the Lightning, headlined by Zel Camacho from Mercedes, Trinity Villalobos from Lyford, and Ali Alanis from Palmview. Good luck against that pitching staff. Yeah. That's a heck of a pitching staff. Ashley De Leon from Mercedes, Emily Perez from Raymondville, Karime Martinez from Harlingen South, Tanya Rodriguez from Los Fresnos, Scotty Lopez from Sherryland Pioneer, Brianna Salazar from La Jolla, Jolie Dominguez from Raymondville, Elisa Rubio from San Benito, Brianna Solis from Mission Veterans, and Victoria Lopez from Lyford. That is the Lightning, and they're going to be coached by Our Lady of the Lake, which is a really hot topic this year with what Old Lou was able to do this year, where they finished nationally and how they made it to their first ever World Series. It was NAIA. Cassie Valdez is going to be one of the coaches. 4 girls on that team. Albert Alvarado, one of my buddies, he's also going to be coaching, or Gilbert, excuse me, he's going to be helping coach. He coaches with Chaos as well. So a couple of the girls from OLU are going to be coaching there. That's strictly an OLU college coaching staff there. Christy Salas is another one that's going to be helping coach. So it's the Lightning, coached by OLU. On to the Storm. Now this is the Coastal Bend. The Storm, starting from the top, Maddie Aguilar from Corpus Christi Veterans, Audrey Dietrichs from Gregory Portland, Kristen Perez from San Diego, Aubrey Gilchrist from Toloso Midway, Sarah Lindahl from Corpus Christi King, Gabby Chapa and Brooke Castillo from Alice, Mariana Molina and Cerise Espinosa from San Diego, Brianna Garza from Corpus Christi Carroll, Alana Garcia from Rockport Fulton, Krista Coy from Corpus Christi London, and Ava Hernandez also from Alice. And that is the Storm out of the Coastal Bend. Quintana Moniz, Andrea Martinez from Texas A&M Kingsville, headlining that coaching staff. So the reason why Ava was listed last was because Ava had an injury to her hand. Mm-hmm. And I talked with Coach Janae Gonzalez. She was still kind of on the fence whether she was going to play or not. She's healthy. She's good to go. And that's the right arm that I was hoping that we would able to get. So we're happy that Ava is going to be joining us in the showcase again. Moving on to the Breeze, Kylie Flores from Corpus Christi Carroll, Madison Marucci from Gregory Portland, Cadence Trevino, Karina Alecron, both from Hebronville, Ayla Medrano from Sinton, Alexa Alegria, Teresa Salinas, also from Hebronville, Faith Monsivais from Corpus Christi King, Mary Grace Cantu from Alice, Mia Flores from Cal Allen, Alina Cruz from Bishop, Madeline Perez and Parker Roden from Corpus Christi, London. Now this is the Galveston College bunch. Maddie Flores, Aviana Gonzalez, and Hannah Griffith are going to be coaching the Breeze. The cool thing there is Maddie Flores, who we interviewed last night, she's going to get to coach her sister, Mia Flores. So I was like, that's going to be a lot of fun in the Flores household, just to see how that unwinds. But Galveston College will be representing the Breeze. And the Barracudas, Jade Moreno from Flower Bluff, Bianca Gonzalez from Taft, Skylar Ramos from Riviera Coffer, Isabella Perez and Emily Mayo from Flower Bluff, Benisa Ellison from Corpus Christi Caro, Janisa Martinez from Zapata, Amanda Muniz and Sadie Flores from Bishop, Cinderelli Medina from Zapata, Rihanna Aguirre from Gregory Portland, JP Galvan from Aransas Pass, and Isabella Campos from Corpus Christi Miller. Mariah Vasquez, Chris's kid, she helped us coach in it last year. She's Team Barracudas this year. She had a heck of a year at Paris College. She led the nation in average. She was their player of the year for her conference. I mean, she just tore the cover off the ball. So we're very happy for Mariah, someone who we covered at CC Veterans. And obviously Chris is a part of the RSL family. She, in fact, is now going to be at Texas A&M Kingsville. She's going to be a Javelina. So she just recently transferred over, so we're happy for her. And then her buddy Cassie Cavazos is also going to be coaching. She's also at Vernon. So there you have it.
There it is. There's the teams. And a note, if you go back, once we post these, you'll note there's not a single team that is, quote, stacked above the others. All 6 teams capable of winning any given game in this showcase, which should make for some of the most competitive softball that you'll ever see in a showcase / all-star event. We have really put something together here. And again, don't get lost at Friday night. Bombs away at the Home Run Derby, and that is going to be a lot of fun too, Kevin.
Yeah, no, we are really, really excited for that. We announced that earlier a couple of weeks ago. In fact, Lily Rocha headlining it. She's the defending champ in the Home Run Derby. We still have to make the bracket.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun. See, it's one thing that once these kids start hearing who's going to be in it, and then it's another thing that once they see who they're going to go against. So just quickly, Sadie Flores from Bishop, Lily Rocha from Harlingen, Zel Camacho from Mercedes, Dakota Martinez from Los Fresnos, Alexa Alegria from Hebronville, Jade Moreno from Flower Bluff, Piper Cáceres from Westlaco East, and Gabby Chapa from Alice. So it's a lot of protein in those swings from these girls.
Yeah, that's the Friday night, and then of course Saturday is when the actual games begin. Saturday and Sunday, and the wrinkle is that on Sunday everybody still has a chance to win the whole thing, which was different than last year.
Right.
Last year it was like play it out, see who gets to play in those final games on Sunday. Guess what? Play some competitive games on Saturday, Sunday. Regroup, you still got a chance to win it all.
Absolutely. So the first game starts at 9 a.m. Saturday, June 24th. The Home Run Derby is scheduled for 7. And then on Sunday, the first game will start at 10 a.m. and the championship wrapping up at 6. This schedule has been posted on social media. I'm going to post it again. Now that, again, parents, I just reached out to all the coaches today. And, in fact, an hour ago, I sent off my last roster via an email. All of our coaches have the rosters. And I encourage them to get a hold of them this week. And, Joe, I've already had Brady said, we're practicing Monday and Wednesday next week.
I already got it set up.
So they already have a practice set up next week. So another thing, too, the softball all-star game. The softball all-star game is also coming up next Wednesday, a week from today, the 14th. The East All-Stars are going to be practicing.
Yes.
So I encourage our teams not to practice that day because I was like, I do not want to take anything away from the East versus West All-Star game. But that game is going to be played back in San Juan last year where we played it. So it's going to be, I'm trying to get a date here if I can scroll quick enough. Was with the rosters for the East versus West All-Star game. But next week, they are starting practices June 14th, 7 o'clock, San Juan Municipal Park.
Okay. So we'll be out there for that.
A week from today, right? A week from today is the game.
A week from today is the game.
A week from today is the game.
We know where we'll be next Wednesday, folks.
Yes, next Wednesday. So, yes, I wanted to give that a plug. I encourage everyone to go out and attend.
Yes.
Sure, you can watch it, but go.
Yeah,
go and support these
kids.
kids.
With everything we do,
yes.
I've said it 100 times. I'll say it 100 more. It's neat to be there and to provide the video coverage. It's neater when there's a big crowd.
Yes.
The bigger the crowd, the better the environment, the better the broadcast, and generally the better the competition when you get a big crowd. So we do encourage everyone to go out there. We don't want to interfere with those coaches' all-star games at all in attendance. That's not what we're about. We're about providing an opportunity to watch it later, and for those fans that are simply no way they can make it out of town to be able to still watch these kids compete. So again, the softball showcase is coming up. Again, I want to send a quick word out on the soccer showcase. We did everything we could this year to get a soccer showcase, and I think that the coaches and the players understand now when they see this softball showcase, they'll understand even more. You get behind it. It's one thing to say, let's run a showcase. It's another thing to get all the rosters set up and the players committed. And, are you interfering with travel ball, doing this and this and this and this? So our soccer showcase shelved this year. We appreciate HEB Park and the Toros offering the venue. We appreciate all the kids that did sign up, the parents that did sign up, and the coaches that assisted us. We just have to go to work a little earlier next year and make that a reality. But again, the softball showcase is coming up. A couple other things that's going on. We are covering 7-on-7 football. We are covering volleyball on a regular basis. Throughout, it's a summertime. What are you doing? We're perhaps as busy or busier than we've ever been before with the volleyball. The 7-on-7. We've got professional boxing coming up. We've got Pony International World Series coming up. Lots of events coming up on Rio Sports Live. So if you think we're taking a break, our breaks come in the span of days, not weeks. We don't take summer vacations, that's for certain. And again, with the showcase, it's just another weekend in which we'll go to work and we'll put a quality broadcast out there for you. And we appreciate everyone that tunes in.
Yep. That's it.
That's it. It was an overtime version from Luke Fruia Motors here in Brownsville, Texas, Buick GMC, and Cadillac. Again, great place to purchase your car, and at very least, stop by. Tell them thank you for being a sponsor here on Real Sports Live. See ya.